Hey guys, welcome back to Creep Designs by Twitch. If you're new here, welcome and I hope you have fun. I'm back with another challenge, of course, because you know I can't stay away from the challenges. Just in case your memory is as shocking as mine, remember a little while back I was part of a challenge called the Tattoo Challenge, and I won that challenge. We'll see how many times I can say challenge. I'll put a counter up on the screen. And because I won that challenge, I now get to co-host with Krystal from the Crafty Creech, and I also got to choose the theme of this challenge. And that theme is bright and bold. And I know what you're thinking, everyone's probably expecting me to do something dark and moody, and I do love dark and moody. Black is my jam, I love black. But I do also love working with colour, and I wanted to choose something that might bring people out of their box and experiment a little bit and try something different. And I thought it might be exciting. So if you're not already on the challenge playlist, I have put a link for the playlist in the description of this video, and I will also link Krystal's channel in the description. But yeah, let's get into it. I will turn you around and show you the piece that I'm going to be working on. Alrighty, here she is. It's a bureau or a secretary desk. It is covered in white paint. I should pull these out first. I haven't pulled these out all the way yet. Here we go. Has a little bit of damage to it, but not a great deal. I should be able to fix that relatively easy. The inside of it looks good. Hopefully, I'm hoping I can take that out. I don't think I'll be able to. But yeah, the inside's in good condition. Don't know if the lock works, but I've got a key somewhere so I can test that out. These are going to be the first bloody thing to go. These are awful. Don't like them. What's that? I haven't had a proper look at any of this. I will look that up. Everything looks fairly clean. It's just covered in a very bad white paint job. A bit of sanding and wax will make these drawers come out easier. It just looks like it's just going to be a lot of paint stripping. I could paint over the white paint, but I prefer to start with a clean slate, and the paint job is pretty rough and not very smooth, so I want a nice smooth finish on this. Alright, let's get the prep out of the way. First things first, these things have to go. I don't mind them, they look alright on certain pieces and they look fine on this. I'm just not a fan. I feel like they look cheap and tacky, but each to their own. When I first looked at this part, I thought the parts where the hinges went in were broken. It's just that the holes were stripped for the screws, so I'm just going to plug the holes up and, you know, re-drill them. I had a really hard time getting these hinges out, but with a lot of downward pressure and help from some pliers, I did eventually get them out. I started off using paint stripper because I have a ton of it there, and I thought it would be the easiest option for this because of how much paint is on it. I'm glad I did, because then you guys get to see all of this lovely bubbling and peeling, and who doesn't love this part? But I quickly remembered why I don't like using paint stripper, because it's so caustic, and I got a little bit on my hands because yes, I'm wearing the wrong kind of gloves, but this is all I had on hand, so to speak. But for me, it's the mess of everything that really puts me off using paint stripper. I don't like the mess. I don't like the goopiness, the cleanup, having to let it dry out and throw it out and dealing with it, like the aftermath of it. I really, really hate it. So this is the only paint stripping you'll see on this. After cleaning up that mess, I swapped over to the heat gun, and this was by far obviously the better option because all you have to do afterwards is just sweep it up and get rid of it. Taking these things out was a lot easier than I expected. It was just a simple little dowel plug holding it in place. I've seen others struggling to remove velvet like this from furniture. Straight off the bat, the easiest way to remove it happened to be just spraying it with water, like saturating it, putting a cloth or rag on it, and then using the iron on it like I have here, and it just scrapes straight off. Super easy and really satisfying. Now, I was trying to be careful about removing these little knobs so that I could reuse them, but for some reason the center of them was absolutely munted and just disintegrated. No one wants to see all of this boring cleaning stuff. My original plan was to leave this section in because they do look good and I do like them, but I decided that I needed to make this a bit more modern and bring it into today's society where most people are using either a laptop or a tablet. Those old pigeonholes definitely would have been in the way. With a bit of gentle persuasion, I was able to remove the backing off of this so that I could just slide that section out. I had to patch some of the veneer near the hinges that had come off. If I wasn't painting this piece, I would replace it with another piece of veneer that would match it. But in this case, I'm painting it, so I'm just using a piece of scrap plastic banding of something else. You could also just use Bondo for this, but because it is a part that is moving and it will be moved a lot, and there might be some flex in it, I didn't want to use something that could come off or snap off that easily. These slots also needed to be filled, and whilst I could have just filled them with Bondo, I don't like doing that. It feels very wasteful, and I have these spindles left over from the last piece I worked on and decided to just use these. They needed to be shaved down a little bit so that I could fit them in the slots. Just in case anyone's wondering, that is a spoke shave that I'm using. I have not used it much and I need to adjust it because it wasn't super easy to use, but I will work on that. And you're about to see exactly why my clothes always look trashed. There we go. Using 80 grit sandpaper, I sanded down all of the drawer sides and the edges. I did this to clean them up, but also to help them fit back in the desk better. And using 120 grit sandpaper, I went over the rest of the desk and smooth sanded everything. And finally, it is time to start getting some paint on this thing. I'm using Unique Options Petticoat, which is their primer, and this is my second time using it and I'm super happy with it. It is bloody brilliant. I'm starting with this piece flipped on its back and working on the feet first, because once I do the body, I do not want to have to pick it up and put it on the workbench again, because I don't want to risk damaging any of my hard work. These feet are going to be gold, or brass in this case. Big shout out to Cherie Stillway from Reimagined. She lovingly gifted me this can of White Knight metallic spray to try out, and I have to say, so far I am really bloody impressed. While those feet are drying, I get on with priming the rest of the desk. On a piece like this where there's lots of little dings and holes and stuff, like that little hole there that you can see now, I like to do the first coat of primer before I do any Bondo or putty or anything like that, because when there's like patchy paint and stuff, priming first can make it so much easier to see where you need to put your Bondo. Otherwise, it's like a hunting mission trying to find where your Bondo needs to go. Another neat trick before you mix your Bondo is to go around with some painter's tape and just put a little bit of tape anywhere you find that needs Bondo. That way, when it is time to mix your Bondo, you can be quick about it and your Bondo won't dry before you have used it all. Now that the feet are completely dry, I'm using painter's tape and some scrap plastic sheeting just to protect them whilst I finish working on the rest of the desk. In true fashion, it wouldn't be one of my projects if I didn't add more to my workload when I'm crunched for time. The insides of these drawers were kind of gross, like they were clean, but they looked manky and I didn't feel like sanding them, and I wanted this to be a nice, brightly coloured piece, obviously. So I thought, screw it, I'm going to paint the insides of the drawers as well. So gave them a coat of Unique Options primer. Once it was dry, I smooth sanded all of it and then went in with a piece of sandpaper and tidied up all of those edges. Finally, some colour! Painting the insides with mint mineral paint in the colour Thunder and Lightning. Michelle's colours are just absolutely bloody stunning. All up, I did 2 coats of Thunder and Lightning and it looks 10 times better. As you'll see here, I put some tape across the top of the drawers just to protect the insides of them from any overspray. Now I'm using mint mineral paint again in the colour Icypole green. I'm using the Wagner W350 spray gun. Do not forget to strain your paint when you're spraying. You'd be surprised how many times I've come undone with my spraying because I've forgotten to strain my paint first. I definitely could have gotten away with doing this part with brush and roller, but it is so much quicker to use this, set it up, spray, and then clean it out for the next colour than it is to stuff around with a brush and a roller. And when you're going for a nice solid clean finish like I'm going for with this piece, spraying is definitely the way to go. Hello, can we just take a minute to really appreciate this colour, and I really hope it shows up on camera. Look at it! How bloody gorgeous is that colour? Like, oh my god. And the finish on it is gorgeous. This one's not going to look very good because the board itself is pretty janky, but the colour is still amazing. This one will look better. Look at it. Yeah, baby. before I set up to spray my next colour, I'm just going around the edges with some 400 grit sandpaper and smoothing down any edge that might be left from spraying the internal colour. Obviously, I'm going to use some plastic to protect the inside part that I've already sprayed, and this is just me showing you how I go about doing it. And now I'm using Rollerskate Pink by Mint Mineral Paint. Look at it! Look at it!
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. Anxiety, filling up every space, no privacy, and silently, it could build and build until you finally see, whoa, it's taking over, damn no closure, moving closer. No exposure, I just wanna be a loner. Some can't stay sober, looking over all their shoulders, like moving boulders just to get out of the home. It sucks, I've had enough, I don't wanna feel the stuck under the rug, all my problems that I shove. I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper.
All of that work and this pristine finish, and I missed this bloody hole. Okay, so these are the handles that I'm going to be using on this. Doesn't that look fabulous? Yeah. Problem is, so they sit like that, which is great, but they stop the drawer from going in, so I'm going to have to take this top edge down. This drawer is fine, they fit fine on that one, so I just need to shave down this one and that one for them to fit properly. You know I can't do a piece like this without some stripes. Using Millie Grey Boutique Primer and Adhesive Bond on the sides. The white I'm using is Unique Options Winter White in the mineral paint, and the reason I'm brushing it on and then going over it with the roller is because it's on the drawer sides and I want to make sure that the paint is nice and as thin as possible with no lumpy bits or anything. Now for my black, I am using Millie Boutique Mineral Paint in the colour Black Bear. Now this is the part where I've stuffed up because I should have gone in with white first, or a clear coat at least, to seal that tape edge to stop paint from bleeding under. I've done stripes a million times. I don't know why I stuffed up so bad. It wasn't so bad on these parts, but on the drawer sides, as you're about to see, there is so much paint bleed through. It was horrible, and I had to go through with a small brush and touch all of that up. Once I cleaned up that mess, I used a piece of 400 grit sandpaper to get rid of any paint edges from the tape lines. Then I dusted it off and used some Pcs Mini Hemp Salve and a clean microfiber cloth to wax those drawer sides. I got this teal or blue velvet from Amazon, and I'll put the link for it in the description. I'm using this ribbon to obviously replace the velvet that I scraped off of these parts. Once it was all glued down and dried, trimming the excess off was the hardest part because it just kept making a mess and wanting to fray. So once I trimmed off what was needed, I then went in with a small brush and some wood glue and tried my best to seal those edges back up. Now it's time to attach the handles, and I just want to give a shout out to Angela because she gave me these handles ages ago and I've finally got a use for them. First thing I need to do is line them up and work out exactly where I want them to be. The original handles on the top drawer were closer to the center and the bottom two drawers more out to the sides, but my eye just really wants them to line up straight. The top and bottom drawer are still a little snug, so before I put this on Marketplace for sale, I'm going to flip it on its back, unfortunately, and I will do some sanding on the underside of the top of the drawers, if that makes sense. Now I have two little knobs. I got these from Bunnings, and I'll link them in the description. They were only like $3 each or something. So to attach these to these runner things, and I've done this before for another one that I did years ago, all I do is mark up the center of them, and as you saw, I snap the ends off of those bolts, but I'm using the end that doesn't have the head on it. So I'm using some quick grip and screwing that little offcut into the knob and then screwing that into the drilled hole and then tightening it up, and that's it. Okay, everything is done, pretty much. I have some other details that I want to add into this, but I wanted to get everything else done first so that if it got down to the wire, I could just leave it as is without the extra details and just call that finished. But I have time to spare. I know. What? It's unbelievable. This never happens. So I'm going to do the extra details. But I'm not going to show myself doing the extra details. I'm just going to let it be a surprise for the end because it's going to be on the inside part. So it'll be a big reveal for you guys too. So maybe I'll do a separate video showing like a time lapse of what I do. But yeah. I've spent the last 3 hours sitting here making TikTok videos. They're going to be good. They're going to be really good. I'm really excited about this piece. I absolutely love it. I don't even care if anyone tells me that they don't like it or that it's trashy or anything like that, because I love it and I had the best time working on it. Like, just the little detail painting part, just shutting off and listening to my music and just vibing with it and letting the creative juices flow was amazing. Completely forgot what I'm supposed to be doing. The challenge. So if you're not on the challenge playlist yet, please go and jump on the challenge playlist, because there's going to be some absolutely knockout pieces. I already know it because you guys never let us down. I'm really looking forward to seeing what everyone does. Thank you to Krystal from the Crafty Creech for hosting these challenges. They are absolutely amazing. I just love the fact that, you know, whoever wins gets to co-host the next challenge and choose the pick the theme. I'm so distracted. It's really, really fun and different concept. Yeah. I need coffee. I think I say that at the end of every video now. Don't forget to check the description for all products used, and tools used and all that jazz. There will be some affiliate links in there. If you use the affiliate links to purchase some stuff for yourself, it doesn't cost you any extra. It just gives me a little bit of commission for the work that I've done, and I do truly appreciate it. If you want to become a member of my channel, you would then be titled one of Twitch's bloody legends, and you get little perks, and there's a Facebook group for members only. If you want more details, there is a link in the description all about that. And yeah. Right. Thanks, guys. I hope you enjoyed this challenge and this video, and I will see you next time.